family. This is Gina with Bijou Noir. Just coming in for a quick catch up and just have some things on my mind, and I thought I'd vent to you guys. First and foremost, let me take a moment to say thank you and welcome to my new subscribers. And for my current subscribers, you guys are family. I want to thank you for the comments that I've gotten this week. Very informative. And also, someone told me about someone sent me, and you know who you are, a message about the Renaissance channel. I'm definitely checking it out. I saw some of the things that I think you're highlighting. We'll talk about that. I'm going to do some more research on that. Just wanted to touch base with you guys. I haven't really been plugging in for a couple of reasons. When I have some things on my mind, or if I'm researching some things, I try not to talk about it until I'm clear on what it is that I want to talk about. Have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. I know that a lot of the borders are opening, and some of us are making plans to go to either somewhere on the continent. I hear a lot of people talking about Ghana, Gambia, Kenya, and those seem to be some of the most popular places being talked about. It's really exciting with everything that's going on. That we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. The borders are opening, so folks are, getting ready to take that dive. Can't say that I'm ready because, like I said, I want to go there ready. I want to make sure that I have some things established before I do that. And when you have children or family, you always have to make sure that you have your loose ends all tucked away or cut off, or whatever the term is. But let's talk about our situation. Our situation being the fact that so much is happening now that we can't even keep up with the news and what's happening to our people. I know since James Blake, we've had a couple of brothers shot, and had some situations where people were pulled over while they were jogging, and it's just a mess. And I don't think it's gonna ever stop being a mess. Today I was refreshing on some of the things that I had learned in the past. And, we're always going to be a threat because this is not about hate. It's not about hate. That I'm very sure of. This whole situation, or our situation with, those people that are terrorizing us all over the world. It's really not about hate. It's about fear. And fear is, hate, people can get over hate. There's a thin line between love and hate. But fear is something altogether different. You're talking about being afraid that you can no longer exist. Could you imagine being a Mzungu, or, every time that they look at you, they're, faced with the realization that, that the skin that you're in, could eliminate or cause annihilation of their race. It's something to think about. I'm not trying to say let's put ourselves in their shoes, but let's try. Let's try for a moment and see what it is that we would do. A lot of times, I used to sit back and I used to say, why us? Why are we the only ones that seem to be, there's other races on this earth, and it seems like, yeah, there's prejudice towards them, but it's not to the point of degradation. It's not hate. And you guys, everything else is in the middle where, it's white or black, and we're the obvious opponent, or the obvious threat. We can't change what it is. I wouldn't even want to come back another race. A lot of I would not even want to return on this earth under new skin. I love the skin that I'm in, and we should. What we should not do, however, is, turn a blind eye to this reality, the reality of, even if you are in a position where you are comfortable and people and they're nice, um, because this is something that impacts their children's children, they're going to tend to, you know, make decisions based on what is best for them. And I think that's what everyone should be doing. I think that's what we need to be doing. You know, the sad thing is our people are so divided. Today I was watching a YouTube channel, and somebody mentioned, and I think the sister was from Ethiopia, and she mentioned how, you know, she hears that a lot of people are coming, but she's not sure how she feel about it because of how it may affect the culture, and she don't want the people coming in to change the culture. Excuse me. And at first, you know, I don't know why. I understand what she was saying, you know, and I could appreciate her saying that she don't want the culture changed. I don't understand why I felt offended though. I don't understand. I'm like, we're Africans. We're coming back home, and our culture, you know, throughout those of us that were shifted through to the diaspora, through enslavement, has always impacted everyone else. Our culture, as far as what we wear, people wear all over the world. What black people do in the diaspora, people do it all over the world. What we fight for, people tend to, you know, get liberated from it. Our culture, or the diasporan culture, if that's what she wanted to call it, the culture that she did not want to impact, to be impacted by those of us that are coming in, is already influenced by the diasporan culture. I'm a little confused because, you see, Africa, and I don't know, because I'm not, and this is why I say I'm confused, because I'm not in a position to say that I've ever been to Africa. Never been. I know what Africa culture could be like because I'm Haitian, and I've been to Haiti more than once, and I understand what that kind of culture is. And if it's anything like that, then I'm not sure what it is that she does not want to change. And maybe I should have asked that question. I think I was just a little standoffish because I'm like, hey, you know, 1 week you're hearing everybody say, hey, come. And then you got the apprehension. And I know that's to be expected. I know people are going to feel like, you know, I want them to come. I don't know if I want them to come. They might change things in light of current events, you know, when, you know, people, you know, making rude statements or whatever. Folks might think, hey, you know, maybe this is not a good idea. But I had a thought at that time. I'm like, is everybody in Africa good? Are they all polite? Are there no rude people in Africa? Is there no belligerent people in Africa? Do they not have people killing people in Africa right now? Will the diaspora come and actually really bring anything to Africa that Africa don't have of itself? Are you saying that, you see, and it goes back to that thing. I know I'm a little, because I'm doing this live, guys. I'm really coming to you raw with this because it's right off the dome. I didn't think about it too much. I just stopped watching the clip and I was like, okay, let me talk to my people about this because I'm a little perturbed or confused or even hurt. I don't even know what the feeling is. All I know is it's causing apprehension because I'm thinking, I don't want them. And it's funny because we're in America and we're a them. When we go to Africa, I want to be considered as a them. I don't want you sitting there nitpicking of all the differences that I'm going to bring. Yeah, I'm going to bring differences. There are people in Africa. You guys have so many different tribes. What's one more tribe going to change? You know, it's funny because When you think of Africa, she made that statement, the first thing that came to mind was the fact that there's so many different cultures going on in Africa. How can the diaspora come and affect that negatively? And then someone else came on, and then they started talking about Liberia. And it was like, okay, I understand, but I don't understand. I'm like, you can't really believe that you could pull Liberia out of every situation to justify you not wanting your brothers and sisters in the diaspora to come home. Because in all actuality, what about the tribal wars that go on between you? And it has nothing to do. I mean, all you have is Liberia. Okay, that happened. It wasn't right. And I don't really know the whole story. And I don't even think the people that brings it up really know the whole story, because there's two sides to a story. And I've tried watching documentaries, and, it's one of those things that, there was not, when things start off one way, they usually end up that way. And that's where it needs to be dealt with in the beginning. And that's why I make these videos. I make these videos because I want to talk about the things that that's on my mind. The things I want those of us that are going back home to get it out, and those of us that are on the continent to get it out. Let's talk about these things. Like she brought up the word culture. And I was thinking, God, she's in Ethiopia, and I know that, there's different cultures all throughout the continent. How could you say I don't want the diaspora to come and change the culture? I know the sister might be a little apprehended, a little scared. Because, I mean, we're frightened. No one is more afraid than giving up everything that they have and know to go back to a place where they are not sure of what's going to happen, and not sure of, how do I say this? If they are truly welcome. In these discussions, people need to understand that we're all new to this. I mean, I would think that the people on the continent would be more comfortable with the idea of us coming back. For the most part, I know most people are. But every time I hear someone that is not, it brings back something. That thing that we were taught in schools, and the only history that we ever learned prior to doing our own research was your people sold you. And then when you get the kind of people that make statements like them and they, and wanting them, I don't want them to return because they're going to affect the culture, and when you hear that, it's just as damning. It's just as wrong as when a diasporan go back to the continent and make demeaning statements to the people there. We need to stop doing that. We need to stop and just stop being afraid. I know that there are factors that, there are going to people that go down there, and there's things that's going to happen. These people are not going to be perfect. I mean, you might get a couple that go down there and commit crime. But you have people in Africa on the continent that's never left the continent that commit crime. These are humans coming down there. They're not going to be imperfect humans. They're going to be imperfect humans, meaning you're going to get a whole lot that's really good and perfect and do good things and build and bring money. But then you're going to get some that come down there and they're going to do good things too. And then they're going to do bad things too. And you got to be ready for that. It's like if you're telling family to come home, you have to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. And I'm saying this because it really, here we are, some of us contemplating on crossing these oceans, returning across those oceans that we were taken from, trying to go back home. It's not okay. For us to feel like it's not okay for statements like that to be made. I don't want them to bring their culture. Of course, we're gonna bring our culture. We can't. What do you want us to do? You want us to go down there and just be what? Empty until you fill us up with what you think is good culture. We're gonna bring ourselves, and with ourselves is gonna be. Honestly, it's going to be whatever culture you're calling. I don't even know if we have culture. I guess the African American culture, the African Haitian culture, the African Jamaican culture, it's going to be culture. It's going to be that. And it's good. Welcome it. And we're going to go down there and we're going to get, introduced to the continental African culture. And there's many out here. So I think we need to stop. I think we need to stop trying to find reasons not to connect. And I think we need to stop being afraid. This is what they have used. This is what has been, this is what has worked. It has worked, y'all. It has kept us divided. All this time. Now, talking about it, yes, we need to talk about it. Dishing it out, let's dish it out. But don't walk away from the table. Don't walk away from the table because we need to divide this pie. We need to actually see what is in this. We need to unlayer this situation between us. If not, your children in your culture, and my children in my culture, they're all going to suffer. Our children's children, regardless of what culture you think they're under, they're going to suffer. So, in the end of the day, it's really going to be a thing where we're going to need to let go all this pretense that we're so different, because we're not. We're not that different. And matter of fact, if you stop all this cultural and tribal and all this other stuff, maybe we could get some real work done. Like infrastructure, like waste, better ways to manage waste, like electricity, water. Like making sure that children are taken care of and are learning what they need to be learning, and and not being used as indentured servants. You see, these are the things that we may bring to the continent. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Sorry, I am not sorry to say that these are the things that we're going to be bringing. When that lady, when I heard the sister, and it's an Ethiopian sister, I didn't get her name, and I'm not going to say, where, well, it really, when she said that statement, she was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about the all the people returning because I don't want them to affect our culture. And I was just like, what? There's so many different cultures in Africa. I don't think one more or a couple more is going to make any difference. And nobody has a problem with the European culture and how it's affected Africa, the Chinese culture. You guys open doors for them. No problem. I'm going to ask you, and I guess you're probably not going to be watching this channel, but if you do, I'm going to ask you to really consider, a couple of weeks ago, everybody was uproar about how Art Kathy spoke, man, and made some statements about the people of Gambia. That was completely out of term. I agree. But when you make statements like, hey, I don't really know how I feel about African Americans. She said African Americans, but people usually say that they mean the diaspora because I don't know if they think everybody's African American, but, some of us are African Haitian, African Jamaican, African, all kinds of stuff. UK, Brits, I don't know. But there's loads of us coming from all different directions. And we're all going to bring ourselves. I don't know about if that means that, if you want to call that culture, that's fine. But we're going to bring ourselves, and yeah, we're going to be a little different. But you guys are a little different. You go to Nigeria, you might find 20 sets of different types of people that have different cultures. Same thing in Ghana, same thing in everywhere. There's so many different cultures. So why is it an issue if we come? Sometimes I think it's code for something else. What we're not going to do is we're not going to sit around probably and let people take advantage of us. We're gonna ask for things to be done. We're gonna expect certain things. We come from a different environment, so like anything else, you're gonna look for some of the same, like anybody else. But that's a good thing. That could only bring growth. Not to say that everyone that's coming is going to make good choices. Some people are going to make bad choices. Some people are going to say things that they shouldn't say. But that's not culture. That's just, there's good and there's bad people in all things. Come on, people. We are at war here. I mean, I don't know if we get that. I mean, you're trying to hold on to things that won't matter when you're being bombed or your children are being taken or bigger things are happening. I mean, we have to come together or as a people, or a culture will be the last thing you're worried about. Your culture was taken away from you before. You were given new cultures, and those cultures will be taken away again if we don't come together. Well, family, that's it. I'm not going to hold you guys any more than this. I just wanted to touch on that. It's something that I've heard a couple of people, make reference to, but I just wanted to address it. And, please, whatever you think, be it positive, negative, you agree, you disagree, I'm here for it. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If you know my number, call me, send me an email, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. The Blackness.